Hello. Welcome to In My Experience with your hosts, Piperlyne and Sonya Lee. I'm Sonya Lee.
And I'm Piperlyne.
And we're here today with our first episode. Tell you a little bit about ourselves, give a little bit of an introduction, maybe start off by having a little conversation before we do that, because it really is just about our own experience. And right now we're experiencing doing a podcast.
This is an experience we've tried more than once also, haven't we? Oh, goodness.
You know, and practice makes perfect.
Or something.
Or something. Or practice makes patience. Maybe that's
yes.
it. Maybe
yes,
that's what practice makes.
No, it does that. It does that, that's for sure. Yeah, we wanted to take this time to just talk about us for a little bit and talk about the idea and the concept behind In My Experience. So Sonya and I have been friends where we connected, where we actually began our friendship was 2016, I believe. We've decided is the right date or time. Though we had met previously and share a number of colleagues and are in the same circles because of the work that we do. But it was connection at first sight for us, and it just grew from there. Right? Yeah. And we've been talking about doing something forever.
Yes, we have.
Classes, programs, circles, groups. and this one we are both really excited about, with the idea that we just talk about what we're experiencing and how we understand it and what it means to us. And the idea of in my experience is that my experience is different than Sonya's experience, right?
Yes, but we have a lot of similarities in our experiences, which leads us to believe that it must be an experience that we are all collectively having here together.
There you go.
I have this old friend from years ago, and he used to have this expression: same gas station, different pump.
Yeah. Yeah, so go ahead.
I was just going to say, and so we're kind of sort of sharing what it's like, you know, to get your gas where we're at. You know, a different perspective, right?
Right.
But just ours. You know, your mileage may vary, but by sharing this, we feel like it also gives us a place to sort of look at and explore the life we've lived and the choices we're currently making, based upon the experiences and growth that we've gone through. Also, you know, there's this thing about casting your net wide, right? Like, we have only so much time and hours in the day to speak with you guys one-on-one, so here it is. And you can go back and listen to it whatever you want. But for me, you know, I don't know so much for Piperlyne, but for me personally, it's also like the minimum requirement for service. And I like that, because it means I don't have to put a whole lot of effort in it.
Right.
However, I have to talk about myself. And that's a huge showing up for me. So if they don't get you one way, they're going to get you on the backswing.
Well, and when we say we're talking about our guide, the universe, whatever term, just FYI. But yeah, they're opportunists, right? Whatever they can use in our lives to get our attention, to get us doing the work that we agreed to do or not, they're going to take advantage of.
Right.
This has been my experience. Opportunistic. So with that, I think, Sonya, why don't you tell us a little about yourself then?
Well,
Well.
No. Actually, though, I did write a few things down.
Yay!
So I'm going to say, right? But let me see. You know how you have your notes up and then you don't have your notes up?
Mm-hmm.
Because you got about print windows open, and it's like, which tab was it?
And I will absolutely say that I switched gears because there seemed to be a perfect segue from Sonya talking about needing to talk about herself to Sonya taking the opportunity to talk about herself. I will be doing the same, and she will segue to me. So I threw you for a loop, Sonya, and I apologize for that.
Okay. No need to apologize.
Right.
Okay. My name is Sonya Lee, and I am an ascension activator and joy detective. And although I do kind of feel like the joy detective is really more of a tool that's in my toolbox, because when it started as a joy detective, it really was to find that lost or missing joy that, had been somehow sucked away from me or out of me. I don't know. In any event, I really feel like once you get to a certain place in your attention, lack of anything is really just a choice. And, well, let me explain it. So, as a sovereign and conscious co-creator of my own earthly experience, I know that my reality is my own construct. And for whatever fucking reason, I might have constructed such a life in that moment.
Pick me.
Right? And it can be shifted into a different reality at any time, right? So, I'm going to let that just digest for a moment as I digest with it for a moment because, sometimes you need to just let that sink in. Because when you're in the moment, you're reacting rather than responding. And that, I think, is sort of a big difference between being a sovereign being and being not. I won't label what not sovereign is. But, because, I like to think of like when you're sovereign, you're autonomous, you're the king, you're at the top of the mountain. Not that you're better, but you just have that different higher perspective. And so you have that awareness and you have that wisdom that allows for you to sort of pause, assess, respond.
Mm-hmm.
And that's mental mastery, emotional mastery, spiritual mastery, physical mastery. To say that, it is all encompassing, but it is also, singular in each of its sets. Some of us have some great physical mastery and take very good care of our bodies. Others have great spiritual mastery. But the sovereignty for me is when it sort of all comes into unison. Maybe not all the time. Our chakras aren't always flowing evenly all the time. They open and close and they shift as we need to for each present moment that we meet. So, anyway, for my personal experience or experiences, that journey, those steps sort of look like this, right? So, I had this period in my life. I was born this way, and then through a whole lot, and being an empath, I didn't always know what was my truth as opposed to somebody else's. So,
all right.
Anyway, so what I found in 2008 was that I had completely lost my joy. I had no joy, no love. Certainly didn't like any of you humans. And I just really, was not in a good space. I was in a really dark space. And so I sort of had this dark night of the soul, one of, like, the first of many.
Right. Who has just one? I don't know.
Just the first one that I, actually consciously played with.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, 2008 was kind of a volatile time. It was also an exceptional time in that we had some really tremendous things happen globally. We also had some not so great things happen. And there was a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions, a lot of energy that was out there. And of course, picking up as an empath on a lot of the negative stuff, it just really it just sort of added to my own, I think if anything, it just fueled the fire of what I was continually trying to push down, which was my own frustration at my life, such as it was in that moment.
Yeah.
And so I took a step back. I quit my job. I was the only one working in my family at the time. I hid in my house for a while. And then one day I just got up and got in the car and drove off and ended up in a metaphysical bookstore in Scottsdale, Arizona, and talked to a couple of people, and they did that voodoo that they do so well.
Woo-hoo voodoo.
The woo-hoo voodoo. And I'm teasing, by the way. But in any event, I floated out of there. Like, whatever we did together, I mean, I said they did it, but in this moment I'm saying we did it because we did it. And whatever it was that we did together, it helped. And then a week later I came back and, sought this person out because I had my conscious, rational, Capricorn mind. And I said, what did you do to me? What was this? I need to know everything. And that began my journey and my odyssey. Becoming a Reiki master, becoming a master reflexologist, of becoming, a certified hypnotherapist, a spiritual coach. All of these things that I was learning and healing and then sharing with others, in addition to still doing, the real estate and all the other things. And, over the last 10, 11 years, I've come to embrace the holistic realtor that I am, and that I bring something different and more to my clients because of my gifts. The Joy Detective, helped lots and lots of people to find their lost and missing joy, and helped me that if you don't tend to it, it's like flowers in a garden. They will wilt and die. And so you must cultivate your joy, and you must keep your joy well nurtured, well fed, well cared for. And we don't that. Well, I do too. But it comes to the realization that we don't live in a culture that really supports and encourages joy like that. So
we don't.
We need to be radical with that, and we need to sort of really start moving, into newer directions. If you haven't seen by now or figured it out, we're right smack dab in the middle of a forced timeout so that we can see what it is that you need to think about that you did wrong, young man, young woman, and make the appropriate changes. Which brings me to my current status, which is Ascension Accelerator. Because I think that if you are in this space where you've had that awareness and recognize, okay, I heard you. I guess I need to get off my butt and do something. I can help you with that. I can show you the breadcrumbs on your spiritual path and say, go that way. You'll be fine. I was.
You can do it. You can do it.
You can do it because you can. We all can. We wouldn't be here if we couldn't. The whole grandstand of souls on the other side with big giant bowls of popcorn going, I can't believe that they're doing this. Because, I mean, it's true, right? You ever watch like one of your, shows or reality shows, Survivor, those sorts of things? I used to love those shows. And I see these people and I'm like, oh, I could totally do that. Oh, there's no way I could do that. I could eat a 500-year-old duck egg. Oh, I couldn't eat that nasty worm that's going to squirm in my mouth. There's some limits, right? But those are the things.
I can do none of the eating things, just FYI.
Oh, I could eat a lot of things.
Oh, Lord, no.
So anyway, this is sort of where I'm at. It's 11:11 right now. You know, I'm just
Perfect.
living my life for me, living a life in peace, living a life in, you know, of what it is that I have been seeking and searching, and I am living it as if I am in it right now, because I am. I'm not. I want to share where I'm at only because I just want you to know what is possible for you, and you don't have to wait. You just live as if it's already here.
Mhm.
Because it is. We just have to tap into it. You know, I shared a story. We just moved into this house. It's an older home. And the things that you don't think about moving back into older homes, you know, they weren't nearly as techy. So there was literally 2 outlets per room.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, I just want to find a place to plug in my Surface, my telephone, what have you, right? and that is such an amazing metaphor for the 5D. All I need to do is find the outlet and I can plug in.
Oh, I like that.
And that's what I got. That's where I'm at. So I hope you enjoyed what we have to say. I hope you enjoy us. We find ourselves quite enjoyable.
Oh, they're hilarious.
Okay. Oh, and just one last
and insightful.
thing. The one last thing that I just wanted to add real quick is, you know, like we said, we know that there's ups and downs on this spiritual journey. It's not, you know, lollipops and, you know, rainbows all the time. The other thing is that I feel like, too, when you can disengage a little bit from, like, being inside the bubble and allow yourself to step outside of the bubble, it gives you a little different perspective, because one of the things, you know, and the reason I shared this is because I had an experience here just recently. I was watching this PBS show called Hacking Your Mind. It was about how your brain works. And it was a very interesting show. But I found that as I was watching it, I was like, yeah, that's not me anymore. You know, I've got better, you know, than that now. I figured some things out, right? And so, you know, there I was, just like, yeah, I can see. Yeah, I know people do that. I don't do that anymore. And so then, you know, the very next day, right? The very next day, because I understand so very much about the mind, you know. And I had this item that I had to notarize for somebody, and it had to be FedExed off. And so, you know, with the whole COVID thing, it makes it a little more interesting trying to get this, but I did manage to, you know, call and find a place where I could go and get it done. And I go to the place, and I walk in the door, and they're like, hi, how are you? How can we help you? And I'm like, hey, I need to get this thing notarized, and then I need to mail it off. And I throw the packing slip on the table and the paper so they can look at it. And he looks at it, and he goes, okay, that's great. I need to see your driver's license. And we don't do FedEx, we're UPS. Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay, well, we'll do this, and then, you know, where's there a FedEx? And so they give me a couple of places, you know, there's a lot of conversation. And then I get my notary, and I walk out the door, and, you know, I do a couple of things, and then I decide, okay, I'm going to head on over to where I know that there's the FedEx, and I get to the corner, and I pull into the parking lot, and I get out of my car, and I go into the shop, and they're like, hi, how can I help you? And I go, hi, I need to mail this off. and they look at it and they go, oh, well, we're not FedEx, we're UPS. And I looked at the lady. I said, are you kidding me? Did I just walk into another UPS? So she kind of chuckled, but didn't really understand what I was talking about. And then I was like, and she starts to go, it's around. And I'm like, it's around the corner, isn't it? And she's like, yeah, uh-huh. And I'm like, okay. And I walk out, I get in the car, I drive around the corner, I find the FedEx, I go in and deliver my package. But when I get back into the car, what I realize is that I was letting the part of my brain that just does things automatically for me, you know, that hacked part of my brain that they call, you know, and in this episode of Hacking Your Mind, the actual episode was called Weapons of Influence. And that was because they were showing how advertisers and marketers and things use how we're influenced, how our minds work, what it recalls and remembers to sort of go in and hack and, you know, get us sort of shift and move us in the direction that they want to move. I don't go to FedEx. I'm a UPS person. So, of course, my brain just took FedEx and made it UPS, took UPS and made it FedEx. Because in the shortcut, all I cared about was I had a package to mail off.
Right.
So,
absolutely. I love that story.
We always have room to sort of shift and adjust, if you will.
Right.
And I had mine right there in my face because I thought I had it all together. So that was just a beautiful, beautiful little example of how I get to stay very present with myself, with my intentions, and how I choose to live my life. Like, this only comes to me because this is what I set for me. Mm-hmm. I want to be smacked in the face with my hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to be authentic. And so, you know, are these things that I've helped people, that can teach people? Absolutely. But I also think that, you know, the best thing to do is just to live your life, because people watch a lot more than they hear. They observe a lot more than they listen to. And even if they're not aware of it, I mean, we both know as hypnotherapists,
right,
that the unconscious mind has got as much, if not more, going on than the conscious one. So that's what I've got to share.
You know, one of the things that I love most about you, and there's quite a bit, but one of the things that I love most about you is the fact that you are passionate about learning and experiencing this stuff. And you are passionate about your clients learning and experiencing whatever it is they need to learn and experience, whether it is what you agree with or not. And you have a heck of a lot of fire in you, which, you know, I'm down with. And the amazing thing with that is that your heart is so big, and you pick up on other people's hurt and pain, which has, as you said to yourself, has caused your own challenges in your life. But I think it's a wonderful thing, because one of the things that empaths can do is completely shut down, and shut down forever, right? Not just shut down temporarily, because sometimes, you know what, we need to do that. But they will shut down forever. And your your courage and your passion and your love, I think are some of the most amazing things about you. So,
well, thank you. You're going to make me cry. Thank you. I accept that though, because there's a part of me that wants to go, nope. And I don't get to judge that.
No, you don't. That is right. You don't get to judge that.
And those are, the things that we can, I think, also just share and people get to see. Like, I know that I'm a teacher. I know that you're a teacher. I don't know. There's a lot of teachers this year that are giving up their teaching. I do not find it the least bit ironic that with everything that's going on, that we have so many teachers that have just decided that they're going to step away from that.
Right.
Whatever the reason that they might have said, I can feel within, that empathic collective that their hearts hurt to make this choice.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it is, there might be fear, there might be safety issues, there might be technological issues, there might be, this is the sign I've been waiting for. But I understand that because I too felt the same thing at the end of last year, the beginning of this year. I just felt like it was time to step back from the teaching and just be, and those around me that are ready to see it will see it. There's nothing more that we have to listen to our own voice, our own truth, and our own, we're not powerless beings. And so, there were moments where I felt a little bit of, selfishness, or, maybe I'm just taking the easy way out. And I've been shown time and time again, you don't have to do anything anymore. Just be.
Yeah.
So that's what that is my intention, is to just be and not do. And we'll see what happens. Hold out.
See how that
goes. But thank you for those kind words. And
absolutely.
Thank you to everyone that's listening to this, because hopefully, it resonates for you. So with that, I'm going to shoot it on over to Piperlyne and let her share with you a little bit about her, what she wants you to know about her and her experiences.
All right. Well, I taking the now moment, for this moment, I am a single mom to an amazing 10-year-old boy, and my focus for him is that I give him what he needs to succeed. And that has taken me, and it has been that way since the pregnancy back in 2010, to do whatever needs to be done to bring, I was pregnant with twins, to bring both boys to life on this earth and to whatever opportunities that they need. As soon as I learned I was pregnant, I basically gave my life over to that. And it has brought unbelievable shifts in my life, changes to my perceptions, great spiritual growth, and is basically why I am sitting here on this conversation with Sonya, creating this concept of in my experience. I may have done different things, but I would not be bringing what I'm bringing to this here now. The in my experience concept and idea was really important to me, and I was so excited when Sonya and I came up with it. The idea behind it is is that when it comes down to it, I can't tell you anything, anyone that's listening to this. I can't tell you to do anything and have that mean anything. I mean, you might appreciate listening to my words. I might give an idea and you might say, yeah, that's a good idea. But I think more than anything else, the most powerful thing that I have to give is my lived experience, what I've gained from it, the countless mistakes that I have made, countless, and the understandings that I have gained and how I have used those in my life to bring me here to this point. As I mentioned, I was pregnant with twins 10 years ago, identical twin boys, and my surviving son, his brother died in the hospital at 11 days old due to an infection. And I can't talk about who I am without talking about that experience because it was so profound. I am also a teacher and a practitioner, and I will be completely honest with you. I so embrace the fact that Sonya has found a way to name and claim the work that she does, because I have struggled with that since I began this journey in going through training to become a life coach back in 2004. And I still struggle with it. I have changed my business name, I don't know, 6 times. now, it's been 16 years at this point, but still, 6 times. But my focus hasn't really changed. And the type of work that I do, it has grown exponentially, but it hasn't changed. And so I struggle with what to call myself. And maybe I will come to an understanding of that, or maybe I won't.
Right? It's like, I hear people say, it's just a name, it doesn't matter, so I don't know.
Well, I'm just going with Piperlyne because that I know. That is on my birth certificate, and that resonates with me also as a deeper and higher name. My mother says the story that when she was pregnant with me, I was her first child, and I was unexpected. When she was pregnant with me I was born in LA, so she was in LA at the time. And she was on a beach, I don't know what month she was. And until that point, my name was, if I was a girl, right? Because I'm old enough that there were no ultrasounds to tell you what gender your baby was at the time. So if I was a girl, my name was going to be Andrea. Right? Absolutely perfect, wow. Lovely. Yeah, isn't that absolutely perfect, lovely name? And then she saw a sandpiper bird on the beach walking along. And she decided, no, my name was going to be Piper. And that's where Piper came from. And then Lynn was added on by my father because he wanted my name different. So like Piper wasn't different enough back then, Piperlyne. So that is my birth name, but it completely resonates with me as my full spiritual name. So, and that's all I got because I got nothing else. But the story also makes sense to me because my boys, when I was pregnant with them, and I decided it was time to come up with names with them once I learned that I was carrying boys. And I started looking on the internet, and the first thing I got was that their middle names were going to be named after the archangels. So Michael and Gabriel. And I knew that it would be them. And then the first names, I can't tell you how they came up, but as soon as I saw their first names, I knew they were them. And they told me who was who. And it'd be in a meditation because I used to go into meditation and meet them while I was pregnant with them. and they told me what their names were in those meditations. So that absolutely can happen, can exist, and those types of situations have happened to me throughout my life, ever since I was a young child. Messages, information, knowledge, awarenesses, and I didn't know any better. I just trusted. When I became older, I was taught from my guides how to meditate with a column of light that reached up to the highest points of the universe, so that lower dimensions, lower energies would not be able to penetrate. And so I was doing that meditation for 10 years. I didn't know it was a meditation. I just did it. And so I have trusted the information that I got, and I have trusted the choices that I have made, but that, of course, does not mean in any way, shape, or form that I have lived an easy life or have gotten everything that I wish that I would. So there's those experiences, right? The whole idea of talking about the weird things. I can't tell you how many times I've had clients sit down in front of me and they're like, well, I'm scared to say it because I don't want you to think I'm weird. Right, Sonya? How many times?
Right.
Yeah. It's like, and I'm like, I'm just like, you can't. I may not agree and I may not understand. But yeah, you can't be too weird to me. And those things that are labeled weird by our current culture are often guidance and intuition and even downright magic. And when we can see that, when I have been able to see that in my life, I've been able to change my life. When I have been able to see the difficulty and the challenges and the pain, I have been able to change that. Now, sometimes it takes a lot of time, sometimes it takes a lot of work, sometimes it happens instantaneously.
Like that.
Right. I mean, seriously, sometimes all you need is the awareness and things shift immediately. And sometimes things need more work. But that doesn't mean the awareness isn't right. It's just there's something else behind it that needs to be addressed before that awareness can come to full fruition. So back to what I was saying regarding my son and changing my life in the intention of wanting to give him all that he needs to succeed, and the belief that will also give me all that I need to succeed, because I have decided that's how life works. Things have been brought to me or created for me or created by me or all of the above that have allowed me to do that. And so talking about how we create our life. It's important that we know it when we're doing it and we're knowledgeable that we can do it, but even more so when we're doing it and we don't know that we're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Some of the most powerful people I have met are some of the people who have dealt with the biggest challenges. Now, that's not because the challenges made them powerful, because that's human power. I'm talking spiritual power. So they came into this world with strong spiritual power, and that needs to be woken up somehow to the person that was carrying it. All that power stuffed into one little human body, and that human needs to be made aware of it. But once they are aware of it and they harness it, amazing what can be accomplished. And I, like Sonya, believe absolutely that these experiences that I have had can be chosen by anybody else. I'm not special. I'm not special. I
mean, you are unique. You are unique.
Everyone, yes, absolutely. No, absolutely. What I'm saying is I'm not doing things that other people can't do.
100%. And I think that, that is special. It's special because you see and choose to do it. But I understand what you mean about not feeling like this makes me special.
Right.
I think we stop and trip ourselves up a lot of times with that self-worth, or not even self-worth, the ego bullshit.
Yes.
And you know when somebody is being, this is about me, right? Like having that Toby Keith moment, it's all about me. And when, they're not. Like and so anyway, I know I just cut into you on that, but it's just because that thought dinged in my head of, we have so many words that we use either incorrectly or we try to apply it to everything when, a mono-use word is acceptable. Not all words need to be multi-use. America, United States, English language.
You mean there, and there?
Right. So, and again, I just wanted to just interject that, think about this. The only reason that she's even saying this, because she knows she doesn't need to say it, because she knows what her intention is. But it must be said because there's so much misunderstanding.
Yes.
There, whether consciously or unconsciously. Anyway.
Yes.
Please continue.
Please continue. Yes, absolutely. There is misunderstanding. There is not any specialness that someone has to be or have. It's a choice. Now, that doesn't mean that your experiences are going to be like mine. That's literally what it doesn't mean, is that your experiences are going to be like mine, because you are not me, and you and I are not to have the same experiences. We can have similar ones, absolutely, and maybe even many similar ones. But you are carnated, whoever the collective you is listening, you are carnated on this earth at this time into this meat suit for whatever reason is for you and the collective. That has nothing to do with whatever reason is for me and the collective. So, the work that I've done, the teachings I have taught, the clients that I have worked with, like I mentioned, I've been doing this work since 2004. I started seeing clients in 2004 in coaching and hypnotherapy. I started teaching in 2005, and I taught on and off until 2016, which is when I officially stopped teaching at the college level, like I was, and basically stopped teaching in small classes also, but I had designed on my own. In my toolbox is also yoga nidra, which is amazing. Reiki, craniosacral, polarity, intuitive work. All of those are in my toolbox. But more than anything, my desire is to simply witness and observe and share what I see. And if you're interested in it, then great. And if you're not, then cool. I'm good either way. What?
I like to say, I'm not talking to you.
That's right. That's right. Through this time of doing my own work and having my own business per se, whether I was doing contract work or connecting through people through my own website. I have gone through you must do this to make this happen, right? For all the people out there who are business owners of any type, you have to grind this way and this way and this way, get up and grind and make it happen, and boss babes and all of that. And I'm not saying that there isn't truth to that. What I am saying is it never resonated with me. I tried, and I did sometimes, and I still do in some ways with the nonprofit that I run. There is more grind than not. But I am a huge believer of the fact that when you are authentically resonating at what is true for you, you send out a message to the world energetically that this is the shit that's happening here. And those people who want to be part of that, are interested in that, are open to that, they will find you. And so that's what this is. I mean, you'll see our podcasts on social media. We've got Facebook, we've got a website, Instagram. We have a couple of Facebook groups. So Podbean, is that right? Podbean?
Yep, Podbean.
Yep. YouTube. So we've got a whole bunch of ways that we're putting our information out there. Both Sonya and I hold the belief that the people who will see it want it, and the people who will want it will see it. And whatever that makes happen, however that formulates in an experience is what we are open for. What we are open for. And so that's a little bit about me and a little bit about my views on why we're doing this. And that if you're drawn to join us, I hope that you do.
And we'll be
here
every week.
That's right.
So sharing what sharing and declaring.
Yes. This one was this podcast for us was more structured because we wanted to make sure that we got our introductions in for both of us. But future ones, not so much. It'll literally be us talking about whatever it is we're thinking about or what we've experienced or maybe something we've gotten in a meditation or anything, literally.
So
anything.
It'll be a good time. If nothing else, it'll be entertaining. We're highly entertaining.
Yes, we are much more serious on this one than we usually are, too, right? Oh, goodness.
We're being professional. We're giving you our cred. We're doing our street cred right now. Once we're done with that, then we'll be what we really are, and we are that too. But like I used to tell my kids all the time, to get upset if I'd have a reaction. They'd be like, Mom, please don't be like that. It's like, I know how to conduct myself with decorum, but I gotta let it out first. So there you go.
This is our professional first step forward, yes.
Next week, we're gonna let it all out.
Who knows?
If there's nothing else, I will, sign off with I'm Sonya Lee.
And I'm Piperlyne.
And this is In My Experience.